This is a conference which will bring together practitioners, and we do hope that it will foster exchange of good practices. This is a very important issue. In the Western Balkans there are different estimates, not precise figures, but reliable information is that something like 900 persons have traveled to Iraq and Syria, and something like 250 have come back. So many of them will go through prison, and it's very important that when they come out of prison they will be able to join and reintegrate into society. Reintegration of prisoners and prevention of reoffending is not a new issue, but nowadays it has become very topical and very imminent, because in many countries many of these people will be released from prison shortly, or in some cases imminently. We have an annual conference of directors of prison and probation services. And in 2015, already 3 years ago, the directors discussed the issue of radicalization. A year later, in 2016, the Council of Europe Committee of Ministers adopted guidelines for deradicalisation addressed to prison and probation services. And a year later, in 2017, the Council of Europe adopted a handbook. So this is not something new. There is a Council of Europe view on that. It is very difficult to summarize. It's a complicated issue, but I would say that it's not about locking the prisoners behind bars and forgetting about them and only intervening if there is trouble. It's about knowing the prisoners, it's about working individually with them, it's about risk evaluation. These are human beings. Prisoners are not popular with the public, mostly. They are behind bars for a reason, they have committed crimes, but one day they will be out and they will be yours and my neighbors. So it's very important that they be treated humanely with the view to their reintegration back into society. That's the key to the whole issue. If you mean a prison with sensor deprivation or with extremely harsh conditions...
That's exactly what I mean.
No, the answer is no. That doesn't do that. That will not work. That does not work. This is an area where all the prison administrations and probation administrations are actually learning. It's a learning process, and there is no, we in the Council of Europe are amongst equals. There is no reason to say, I don't know, the French or the UK experience is valid for the Western Balkans, not the other way around. There is something to learn from every bit and piece of experience, and that is the valuable thing. And that's very valuable. That's why we are promoting this conference, in particular for the Western Balkans, also because we have, in this case, we have funding from a European Union funded project implemented by the Council of Europe. That's a very simple answer. Should you ask the question, why are you doing it in the Western Balkans? Well, we do hope that it will start a process where the prison administrations in the Western Balkans will be more interested to meet, to exchange, to learn from each other, and they will be more ready to put into practice the handbook, the guidelines that we have. It takes time, it's not easy, it takes training of prison staff. In some cases it takes reconstruction of prisons. This is, once again, prisons are never a priority when it comes to deciding on budgets or to being popular as measures to take. But these are things that need to be addressed, because once again, people are in prison, they go through prison, and they come out. And in the case of radicalization, in the case of crimes that may have been committed in Syria or in Iraq, we are in rule of law countries. It's difficult to find evidence. Generally in Europe, the sentences are not very heavy or not very long for these people. So time is pressing.